was asked to be his mentor and to tutor him, and I discovered that this young man could not read. He wasn't given the resources that he needed to succeed. In addition to that, I found out in his mid-20s, this gentleman had 11 kids. So he was experiencing housing insecurity, child care, and transportation insecurities. And it was at that point that I realized this is my calling, coming from a similar background, maybe not with as many kids, but with housing, transportation, technology, and child care insecurities. I felt that I needed to align my professional work with my personal values.
Well, I didn't know it. Over 20 years ago, I was working at the bedside in nursing. I was observing the other care that nurses were providing. I was very diligent about the care I provided, and I realized for the public's sake that the care wasn't where I really wanted it to be. So I learned at that moment that maybe I needed to go and make a difference. And that difference was to go to the local community college and teach nursing, make future nurses. I didn't realize it at that very moment in time was the beginning of getting me to San Diego City College. That moment was the moment where I decided that working in education, higher education, was the place for me.
So for me, it started when I was working as a residential counselor right out of undergraduate. And I got to work with a lot of students who, through my work with them, got to see them blossom and grow into scholars, eventually transfer to four-year universities, earn degrees, go on to become doctors and lawyers. And it gave me really the passion to continue to work in education, realizing that if you give students access to information, if you give them access to education, that we can unleash power in them to unleash their potential.
What keeps me motivated during these challenging times is remembering that everything focuses on students, mission, and culture. As long as we can realize and measure our outcomes in terms of their success as it relates to student retention, engagement, completion, placement, and alumni relations. And this is the entire student life cycle, not just getting them in the door. That is what keeps me motivated, is ensuring that we are successful in each of those components.
I really love one of the acronyms that we've recently created called NOW. Nighttime, online, weekend learning, whatever it might be, we are looking forward to offering those to our students. What really always strikes me to my core is how much people want to help our students. They go out of their way to really take a good look at how can we make a difference in their lives. I would have loved to have been a community college student back in the day. I wish I didn't have the hurdles I had. But I think that's what keeps people at San Diego City College motivated. And every experience that they may have had in their college years, they're trying to remove those obstacles for our students. That is, to me, an inspiration and a motivation to keep coming to work every single day.
Reflecting on my journey, one of the most significant challenges that I faced as an administrator here at San Diego City College really has to do with budget and budget allocation. We got an influx of money, but now that that money is drying up, we're starting to have to reprioritize how we're allocating resources, thinking about how we're serving our students. I remember having our first graduation during the pandemic in a drive-through setting, right? Having students drive up and still being able to celebrate their accomplishments of completing the semester and the year in a different way. And so we had to really think creatively. Every day, I get to be reminded that I am at one of the greatest places on the planet, that I am working with very, very talented group of individuals who are committed to our students. I don't think I've ever come across anyone on our campus who doesn't believe that every student belongs here at San Diego City College, that every student has the potential to be successful.
I think for me it was when I was a student, and I was a student here at City College, at Miramar, at Mesa, in our district. I spent the first couple, maybe semester or two, just bumbling around like a lot of students do, wandering around trying to figure out like why I was here. And I didn't even know if this was the right place for me, college. And then I took a class, an English 205 class, that changed all of that. Like up until then, I felt like I didn't really belong. I was here because a friend kind of pushed me to apply for college and, stop working random jobs that weren't going anywhere. And I remember recently, maybe a year or so ago at Hoover High, I had a very disengaged class. It was one of the hardest classes I ever taught. I remember at the beginning and the end, students were saying like, I'm not sure if I want to go to college and I'm not sure what I'm doing here. By the end, I had a couple of students, at least, maybe more, tell me that I really wasn't sure if college was for me. I was considering a number of different paths. I am sure now. I am sure that I belong in college, and I'm sure that I can do college. I think above all, we really need faculty leaders who center social justice and equity. right? Who are willing to do what's right no matter what. And that's why I came to City College. City was a really easy choice. It was easy to say, like, I belong here because they made you feel that way. I know how powerful that can be and how stabilizing it can be also, to feel like you don't know what you're doing and suddenly you arrive and people hold your hand through the process.